The people of Moravia will not ignore him inserting himself into our affairs.
Accelerate the portal. Primed and ready.
T-minus 10 and counting. 10.
So, just came out from watching the Superman James Gunn film. And yeah, I gotta say, I gotta admit, it's kind of a mixed review. After, sitting on it for a few minutes, I gotta say the movie was definitely enjoyable. But it's not like a perfect film from top to bottom. So first thing I'll say about the film is, there was a lot of people saying that James Gunn took a lot of liberties with, adding certain lore that wasn't in the comics. And they were correct on that. Apparently, in this version of the DC universe, superhumans have been around for hundreds of years. So Superman is like nothing too out of the ordinary, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I'll just summarize the plot. Superman is basically doing his usual Superman thing, trying to save Metropolis, but then Lex Luthor comes out with the revelation that his parents from Krypton sent Superman to destroy the world, and everybody thinks Superman is a bad guy, and Lex Luthor kidnaps Krypto the Superdog, and Superman has to go and save his dog. He ends up getting arrested. They trap him in another dimension. Then he escapes. Then Lex Luthor tries to destroy everything by unleashing a black hole on the earth or some dumb shit. Superman ends up beating him. Lex Luthor gets arrested, and the day is saved. And at some point, they bring up that Lex Luthor was trying to take over a country by manufacturing a war or something. Came completely out of nowhere. And yeah, that's basically the movie summarized. And while the movie's definitely enjoyable, a lot of stuff about the plot that doesn't make sense that I was thinking at certain points of the movie. When they reveal that Superman was sent to destroy the Earth, it's obvious that it's a lie, that Lex Luthor was just saying that to ruin Superman's reputation. But everybody in the movie turns on Superman hella quick, and even Superman is pretty much believes this lie that Lex Luthor told him. And one thing that just made me scratch my head is just how everybody was so damn gullible in the movie, to where it was just like unrealistic. Like Lex Luthor literally just comes out with this information, and the moment that everyone sees it, they just believe it immediately. Just didn't really make any sense. And as part of the James Gunn humor of, putting in unnecessary jokes. Now, I mean, Superman and everybody else still felt like themselves, but it's just, I think James Gunn needs to maybe dial it back with the humor and just let things just be a tad bit more serious. And, then it would be like perfect through and through. But, other than that not really making sense, the whole subplot with the war between, I don't even remember the names of the fake countries that they had, basically Israel and Palestine or something. I guess you could say those countries were like a metaphor for Israel and Palestine in the movie, but they never explained what those countries were and what Lex Luthor and Superman was trying to do in them. They don't they don't explain like what they didn't really explain anything with that war. So like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Doesn't really make any sense, and that part of the plot just kind of confused me. Um Green Lantern looks weird. Or not really like, I mean, his suit looks kind of weird. Um, Let me think. That's about it for the critiques. I mean, it's a little too goofy at times. The CGI looks, it didn't really look like CGI. It looked more like AI, but some of the CGI that they used on like the monsters and stuff looked a little bit weird. They could have done a little bit better making the monsters look more realistic, because I definitely noticed that during the movie. But other than that, other than like certain parts of the plot not making sense and like the I think the movie was pretty enjoyable. It was lighthearted. Some of the jokes were funny. Just don't overdo it. And yeah, I would give this movie like a 7 out of 10 at the highest. And at the lowest, maybe a 6. I don't know. It's an enjoyable movie. And we'll just have to see how the rest of the movies that, come after this, how they handle those, because this is supposed to be the start of the new DC cinematic universe. So that's my take on the James Gunn Superman. Little wonky, but overall an enjoyable film. And yeah, peace out. Story time with the god of the internet. 20-something years ago on this world you were born. First, black nothingness. And slowly but surely, over an unprecedented amount of time, you slowly began to gain consciousness. By the time you were 2.5 years old, you were alive. This is the story of your life. From the moment your life began, people had already predetermined that you would spend the next 20 or so years of your life in school. And so it began. Every day, you would go to school. And in the beginning, it wasn't that hard.